Keeping a little bit on the theme of today, the future of Great Lakes real estate, data centers, water, and climate, a lot of the growth in this area has to do with artificial intelligence. And not only artificial intelligence in terms of how we're using it in business, but also how we're using it in the real estate world. Artificial intelligence, AI for the first time, has become something that all of us use maybe on a daily basis. And if we're not, it's something that we're really curious about. Here at Marquette, we are trying to stay cutting edge and integrate as much AI into our classrooms as possible, although we're very much still in the piloting phase of that process. But as you're about to see, some of our students have figured it out and then some. And again, sticking with the theme of what's the future talent in front of you, it actually gets pretty exciting. And so I'm really excited to bring to the stage Charlie Clark. Charlie is a sophomore. See, we went freshman to sophomore. We gave the junior the hard thing, the moderating, right? So Charlie's a sophomore here at Marquette University studying commercial real estate and AIM and the FinTech track. He's also a member of the 2027 cohort for the Real Estate Asset Program, which is our $2 million real estate investment fund for students that's run through the Vieth Institute for Real Estate Leadership. And Charlie is a native of Petoskey, Michigan. Please join me in welcoming Charlie Clark to the stage.
Okay, like Andy said, everybody in this room knows that Marquette has a nation-leading program in real estate. Like he said, we're focused on innovation, we're focused on staying cutting edge. We've identified AI in real estate as one of those opportunities to do just that. And I'm here to talk today about my journey to Marquette, my experience within Marquette real estate, and the opportunities I've had within the department with the AI and real estate seminar I attended in early April, and a project that we're working on in partnership with Adventures in CRE. So a little bit about me. I'm from Petoskey, Michigan. Sorry about that one, Andy. It's a hard one to pronounce. For those of you with a right hand, if you stick out your palm, it's the top of the ring finger. I didn't go to Petoskey High School. I was the second graduating class at an online innovative high school called Avenues to the World School. Their mission statement's up on the slides behind me. You can read that if you want to, but it's a lot of words. So I'll give you the 3 bullet points that I took away that changed my perspective on education and the way I look at life in general. First one is, like Jimena said, it's project-based applied learning. I didn't take a single test in high school. It sounds insane, it is insane, but it was a great way to learn. The second portion of that is we had small classes. The average class was 7 or 8 students, and I got to build a really close relationship with all my teachers. And the third was their prioritization of innovation, creativity, and curiosity. If you didn't have one of those 3 things in the projects where you applied your learning, you weren't going to thrive at Avenues. So when I take that and I look at Marquette, I say, okay, applied learning, they've got REAP, they've got AIM. They've got a really good student-to-faculty ratio and an opportunity to build a close relationship with your professors like I had with Andy in the last semester. And they're really good at supporting students and being innovative, creative, and curious. They support students as far as case competitions go, different projects, and many other opportunities. That's the reason why I'm here with you guys today. I want to talk about some of the opportunities I've been given by the department to be innovative, creative, and curious. The first one being the AI and real estate seminar at Columbia that I got to attend in early April. The 3 valuable takeaways I think are valuable to anybody in this room are the communication gap, some definitions of AI, and then feasibility testing. So let's start with the communication gap. You can think of it as 2 vectors. You have real estate complexity, and you have technology complexity, technology or AI. As you get more complex on either vector, there's a larger communication gap, and it's harder to solve problems in this space. So if you go up to a technology professional and you say, hey, I want to build a website so I can post about my listings, that's a pretty easy problem to solve. It's not hard to explain the problem. But if you go up to them and you say, hey, I want to make a predictive model for commercial mortgage-backed securities trading, they're going to say, what the heck are you talking about? Let's break this down a little bit more. Let's go more into depth. Point being, real estate professionals need to have the ability and the understanding of technology and AI at a basic level, or at least the language that technology professionals use, so they can articulate their problems effectively. And then the technology professionals can understand them better, they have the tools to solve them, and in return, you get a faster, more quality solution to your problem. Can't do that without understanding AI. And before I went to this conference, I did not have these same definitions as when I got there. A lot of people think artificial intelligence is just LLMs. It's not. It's based on math, it's based on rules, it's based on logic. Artificial intelligence is a capability of computers to make human-like decisions. So if you've written an if statement in any of your Excel models, congrats, you've applied AI in your business. As far as machine learning goes, it's digging a little bit deeper. It's a subset of artificial intelligence where computers learn patterns from a set of data develop a model, and then continue to learn from incoming data. An example of this is regression models. It's a very simple example of machine learning. You have a scatter plot, you have your line of best fit, if you remember statistics. When a new data point comes in and it's different from your prediction, it adjusts the line of best fit for a new model. That's how the machine learns. When we start talking about deep learning, it's more complex. You build those models, you compile those models, those rules, all that logic, those algorithms into what we call neural networks, and you start learning more complex patterns in data. This is where we get into LLM territory when you get up to 1 trillion plus parameters. As you can tell, with 1 trillion plus parameters, you can't really see what's happening to your inputs to get your outputs. They think of it as like a black box. It's hard to say exactly what's happening to your data, and it's hard to make sure that that data is accurate when it comes out the other end. LLMs are getting more and more accurate, so they can solve these problems. But I like to differentiate them into 2 categories. You have number problems, and then you have language problems. If you have a number input and a number output, you can use math, you can use artificial intelligence, machine learning, and your communication with tech professionals to efficiently articulate your problem, and then you can solve it with math in a way that's very transparent and very accurate. You can solve it with LLMs faster, but if you want accuracy, math is the way to go. On the other side, language problems are really helpful. LLMs are very helpful to solve your language problems. That's drafting LOIs, that's summarizing lease documents, structuring speeches. But you have multiple ways to kind of approach these problems. But before you even start approaching this problem, you got to go through what I call the feasibility funnel. There's 3 levels. There's value, technical, and execution feasibility. Value feasibility, you take a look at the project and you say, does this provide a net positive value to the firm or does it not? If it passes through that, you go into technical. Can AI solve this problem, or is this something that's unreasonable to expect of AI? Like, AI cannot put a quantitative number on the view of the Hudson River from a Manhattan apartment. It just can't do that. You gotta be realistic. You gotta understand what are the technical capabilities of this tool. Then you go into execution feasibility. Not everybody is Prologis, and they can have a huge budget on their AI solutions. You gotta take a look at what time, money, and resources you have, and can you actually solve this problem? Can you execute on this project based on the time, money, and resources that you have? If a project makes it through the whole funnel, you have a really cool project you can begin to work on. This is one of the projects that we're working on at Marquette. We call it REHSI. It's in partnership with Adventures in CRE, and it's the Real Estate Headline Sentiment Index. I get this question a lot. What is a sentiment index? It's a tool that'll help you quantify the opinions, the feelings, the emotions within a given topic. In real estate, what you typically see with sentiment indexes is a survey sent out to professionals to gauge the positivity or negativity in a certain segment of a market. The problem that we have is we don't get the MSA breakdown that we'd like, and we don't get daily updates. It doesn't update every day. Like I said with execution feasibility, these firms that are producing these reports don't have the execution feasibility to be posting new reports every single day. What we notice we can do is we can solve that with AI. So what is REHSI? I think of REHSI in 3 portions. I see data collection, I see the model, and I see our visualization. So if you look at data collection, we've compiled a list of the top 50 MSAs by population, which we're hoping to grow, and sources in each MSA. What we do is we scrape the headlines, the commercial real estate headlines, and the publication dates from those headlines. Once we have that in the database, we put that in through our model, and we assign a sentiment score based on human training, and then we will also assign an asset class 1 of 5. That's multifamily, industrial, office, retail, and hospitality. Once we have that done, and that data is transformed, we can begin to visualize it like what you see behind me. You can choose an MSA like Chicago, you can choose an asset class like multifamily, and you can see the change in sentiment score over time. But what does this mean for you guys? You can use it in pitch decks, you can use it to learn more about your MSA and how the industry feels at this current moment in time. You can learn more about other MSAs that you don't know about. Like I said, this project is underway right now, and we do need your help. We've made a survey to collect sources, so we have the best quality sources for each MSAs, for professionals in those MSAs. We launched it 2 weeks ago. We have 240 responses. We have 40 different MSAs, 41 if you count the national. And if you want to take a look at it on a map, it looks like this. I think that looks really cool. I like seeing the red. I like seeing how spread out it is over the nation. But I think we can do a lot better. I want to see red dots all over this as this project progresses. Like I said, we need your help, and I want you guys to get first access to this tool. Behind me is a QR code that you guys can scan, and it'll take you to an Adventures in CRE article. It'll tell you more about the tool that we're developing, how it's going to help, and it has the survey in there, so you guys can give us a little bit of feedback and have some input into what sources we're using in this tool. The last thing I want to say a huge thank you to everybody involved with the Vieth Institute for Real Estate Leadership. I want to thank the board members, the donors, the faculty, the students, everyone here today. It's been an incredible experience so far at Marquette. I have 2 more years to go. I'm very excited. If you have any questions or you have projects that you're working on, I'll be around. Ask me any questions. Just come up and talk to me. I'm really excited to talk about this stuff. With that being said, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the conference.